Hi everyone, it's Aliya and welcome to my podcast. I'm very happy that you're listening to it, and today's topic is how to start a conversation with a girl online and in real life. So I have decided to choose this topic because I have seen a lot of guys doing it completely the wrong way, and sometimes when I see those messages on social media, I don't even open them. I don't even start talking to a guy because I know that this conversation would go nowhere. Like the way he started it, it's just awful. So if you want to know how to start a conversation with the girl correctly so you can have a long conversation, so you can get to know her, or if you just want to become like friends or maybe get a girlfriend, this podcast is for you. So yeah, let's get started. I would like to begin with social media platforms because I think most of the people nowadays, they get acquainted using social media platforms because I think it's easy and it's comfortable. So let's talk about how to start a conversation properly. So the first thing that you need to do, you don't need to say, "Hey babe, how are you? How was your day?" No, you don't do that shit, okay? That's not the correct way to start a conversation with a girl that you don't even know. It's okay when you already know each other, but when it's the first interaction, don't please say, "Hello, babe, you look great and let's catch up." No, you don't say, "How are you?" You don't say, "How was your day?" Because when you ask these questions, she would reply with only one answer, it's one answer questions. So she would reply either yes or no, either good or bad, and that's not okay in the beginning, and I will tell you why. Okay, what you need to write in the first message, you need to address her by her name. This is very important because this will show that you show respect to her, and it's just basic manner of being polite, In the first message, you need to put her name, okay? So you need to say hi, like Maria, I don't know, hi Bianca. So her name is really important. So if it's account on social media, there is 90% that she has her name in her account, right? So you could see this name, so you could see her name and you can type her name in the beginning of your message, okay? So it's really important. I don't know why some boys don't even address her by her name. Why? It's very easy, and it shows that you're polite and you're interested in this girl, okay? So first, address her by her name, okay? Then you don't ask her questions like, "How are you? How was your day?" Because she will reply only one word and that's it. You will not have a long conversation. Instead, you need to come up with a question that somehow is connected with this girl, either it's her hobby or her interest, or maybe it's connected with her job if she is already working, So it's easy to first analyze the page, the profile of this girl, or maybe her friends. You can even ask their friends what she's into, because I know you could disagree with that because you want to know her and you want to ask her by her own, right? But I'm talking right now about the first question. So for the first question, you need to analyze her as a person. You need to analyze her, for example, profile, or maybe you can even ask her friends what she's into, because these questions should be somehow connected with her hobbies, with her interests. So this will also show that you really want to know her better, that you're interested in her, that you did a little analysis of her like character or personality or like her hobbies, you did a little research and you ask this type of question. For example, I'm interested in video making, right? And like the question that like the boy could ask me, like, oh, like for how long have you been making videos? Like, what's your favorite camera? Like, what apps do you use to edit? Like, what video editing style do you like? Like, you know what I mean? So I'm a video maker, and if he asks me those type of questions, I would like 100% answer them, because like that's my niche, that's what I'm interested. So you see that you need to come up with a question that will give you a chance to talk with her like at least for like 1-2 days, you know what I mean? Like, it's not just like one answer question, but you need to ask something that she could have a long conversation, I think that like most of the guys, like not most, but like many of the guys, they don't ask these questions in the beginning because they don't know, and that's why I'm telling you like what kind of questions you need to ask the girl, So first address her by her name, then analyze a little bit her profile, her interests, and then come up with a question that is connected with this girl, connected with her hobbies, her interests, I don't know, something, and you ask her to know more about herself. So yeah, that's it. This is how you start a conversation online, but I will tell you how to talk to a girl and how to analyze her like signs, you know what I mean? I think you don't know what I mean, so that's why I'm gonna like make another podcast where I will talk about the signs that the girl like give you, so you can understand her attitude. So right now let's proceed to how to start a conversation with the girl in real life. So it's a lot harder than in social media, right? Because you see the girl and like it's real, like what I mean, you're nervous. That could be really nerve-wracking, you know what I mean? So I will actually tell you some stories from my life, because I find them quite interesting and I think this can be really helpful for you. So, or maybe you can like, take some tips from that stories. So, okay, how to start a conversation with the girl like in real life. First, I need to say that actually you can get acquainted with the girl literally everywhere. Like the place doesn't play any role. You can get acquainted with the girl in the bookshop, in the mall, like in the groceries, on the street, like in the park, just like everywhere. Like the place doesn't play any role. But the way you start, the way you approach the girl, it's really vital. Like you need to be really careful and thoughtful and just smart. So I think that in the beginning you need like to have an eye contact, like it's like first interaction. You look into her, she looks into you, and like you make an eye contact first, and then after that you like approach and say something, right? But sometimes the girl like doesn't look at you at all, and then you just need to come up to her, but you need to be very careful with what you say. So let's start with how you don't need to approach a girl, because for example in my life, like there were some cases when like I was really scared. Like I was really, really scared because I'm a girl, like you don't know. Like, I mean, the girls would understand me, but the boys, they don't understand, because like, we need to be careful, because sometimes men could be dangerous, you know what I mean? So I would tell you how first you don't need to approach the girl, okay? So you don't need to come up to a girl and just say, hi, you look great, you want to catch up? Like, it's just straightly to the point, like, don't do this, because in most cases girl would say no, because that's not how you start the first interaction with the girl in real life. No, like, in mostly cases she would say no, because like, we don't like when you do it, like even if you like us, we don't want to know it like during the first interaction, okay? So that's just psychology of woman, okay? Logic, I know. Okay, there was a certain period in my life when the man just came up to me and said exactly the same phrase, like, hey, I like you, you wanna have some coffee? And I'm like, what the heck? Like, did they finish the same pickup line course or something? Like, what the fuck? What the fuck is that? Like, it seems that they just want a one night stand and they just come up to me and said it right into my face. Like, what the fuck was that? I don't know. But there was a certain period of my life when this kind of guys, like, just, they came up to me and said the exact same phrase. Like, don't do that shit, okay? Don't do that. You see how, like, important is that? Because, like, I was, like, really scared. Also, there was another case when I was just walking home after school. It was, like, snowing so hardly. I was, like, with kind of scarf, so, like, I put it onto my head like that, and I was going through the snow, and then there was, like, a car, like, and of course there was, like, a guy in this car, and he just, he put the window down and he was, like, driving this car as I was walking the street like that, like this, and he was like, he pulled the window down and he was like, hey, you wanna, like, a ride, you wanna catch up? And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, is he really thinking that, like, this girl would sit to the car of a random guy and catch up? Like what? Okay, maybe there are some kind of girls like that, but I think most of them would not say yes. Like, what the hell? You're just a random man who invites a girl to sit in his car and like, what? Bro, don't do that shit, okay? So now you know how you don't need to start the conversation. Now we're proceeding to the positive experience in my life and just, how to start the conversation with the girl in real life. Okay, so when you see a beautiful girl on the street and you want to talk to her, you want to get acquainted with her, you need first, as I told you, you need to establish, like, eye contact. Eye contact is important. But if you can have an eye contact, because sometimes, like, she's, like, really far away, she doesn't even see you, it's okay. So you need to come up to her and you need to ask some type of question that doesn't even correlate with relationship, with getting to know her. It should be just a random questions. For example, like, hey, excuse me, can you, like, help me? Like, do you know where this shop is located? Or, like, excuse me, like, do you know how to get to this bus stop? Or, like, excuse me, like, I don't know, just, like, this type of questions that are not connected with getting to know her. You know what I mean? So she doesn't want to know that you want to get to know her right now. Like, she doesn't want to know it. I mean, like, she wants, but she doesn't want you to say it to her just during your first meeting. Don't ask me why. It's psychology, okay? So So you ask her this type of questions and you see like how she reacts, how she responds. And if like she responds pretty like good, like she is like telling you how to get there, she's kind, she's polite, maybe you can somehow ask some other questions and also see how she reacts. Then word after word you establish, this contact with her. And then like after maybe, I don't know, like you have to understand like how she responds, how she interacts. Then you can understand if you can like get her contact or if you can't. And don't be afraid to get rejected, because it's totally fine, it's totally okay, because like if you don't try you will never know, and that's it. I don't know how many minutes I'm already talking, but let's proceed to like some like good experience in my life. When the boys came up to me to like get my contact, So like two of these stories are connected with kind of bus stations, So if you need some new scenario for K-drama, listen to these stories carefully. So the first story. So I entered the bus, so I just sit in the bus and I see the guy sitting next to the window. So I look at him, he looks at me, I smile to him, he smiles back. Then straightly he starts the conversation like, hi. I'm like, hi, and he's like, are you going to university? And I was like, no, I'm going to my job. And then he's like, oh, cool, what are you, like, where do you work or something? I don't know, like, when I just first saw him, like, I didn't feel any pressure. I don't know, maybe because of his appearance, like, he looked like a kind and, like, positive kind of guy, I don't know. So I didn't feel any pressure to talk to him. I don't know, the whole time when we were like going, like driving in this bus, we talked, and I found out that he is just traveling in Moscow. He's from another Russian city and he's just traveling in Moscow. And then we just, we were talking the whole time, like for like 10-15 minutes in the bus. And then like I told him, oh, let's go, I will show you some like center in the Moscow, So we walked a little bit in the center while we were going to my office at that time. So yeah, we talked a lot, and then he even like came with me to my like office, said goodbye. I gave him my contact, my Instagram, but that's it. Like we didn't communicate like more, but still like that was a nice conversation, that was a cute interaction, that's it. Another experience from my life also, it's connected with bus stations. So I was just waiting for my bus, and then a guy came up to me and he asked like, oh, like, do you know if this bus goes there, like to some kind of place? And I was like explaining to him how to get there, and he's like, then like I don't know how, but like word after word, like we talked, like I asked him, he asked me, and then we were like talking in the bus again. Like he was a student and he was like going to his job, and then I don't know, like you see, like at first you just need to ask question that is not connected with getting to know her, just a random question. So you ask her and you see like how the girl responds, how she interacts with you, and then like in the very end of your like interaction, you ask her for her contact. So yeah, so this was the same with this guy. Like we talked when we were like driving on this bus, and then he asked me contact. Yeah, and that's it. That is another story from my life. And what else I wanted to tell you? Another story from my life. I liked how this guy approached me. I liked his questions so much. So this was a summer evening. I was recording a beautiful sunset on my camera. And I was just really enjoying that moment because I'm a video maker. I like to make videos, and I was like recording this beautiful sunset. And then just one guy, he came up to me and he asked me, oh, are you a photographer or are you a video maker? And I was like, yeah, I'm a video maker. And then he asked me like, oh, like what do you like do? Meaning like who are my clients, or like what kind of videos like do I do? And I started talking about this niche. You understand? Like I told you this in the first part of this video when you were asking the girl question that is connected with her hobbies, right? So this guy, he asked me this type of questions, and we were like talking with him for like 10-15 minutes, I don't know. He also told that in the past he made videos too, so he had experience with that. So I was interested in that too, so we communicated a lot. And then like even like his friends were already calling him like, hey, like dude, like where are you, like we're waiting for you. And he's like, yeah, I'm coming, but he was not coming because he was talking to me, you know. So yeah, we talked like, I don't know, for 10-15 minutes, maybe 20. And then he asked my Instagram. And again, it's in the very end, you know, it's not the beginning of your interaction, it's the very end, because you need, you know, first you need to establish some eye contact, then like, you know, to warm up, you know what I mean. So this then leads to the goal, you know, to take her contact, you know what I mean. So that's it. That's pretty much it, what I wanted to talk in this podcast. I hope that somehow it was helpful for you, and I would like to talk more about this kind of topic, you know, interaction, some signs that the girl gives to you but you don't understand them. I would like to cover this topic in my next podcast, so thank you for listening to it. See you in the future. Bye.